third race, the Sports Ministry Spring Trophy. Have just come out of the parade ring. They've passed the grandstand, and we have Alcazaba, the property of Ms. Deeptika Jaikodi, Chestnut Mare 6-year-old bird in approved for Valambraha, is trained by SPA Raju. Irwan Singh rides Alcazaba, drawn 3, carrying that weight of 60.5 kilos. 2 is Atlantis, is owned by Mr. Hasanga Jayaratne, Juniper of Admiration. Is trained by Sri the Selvaratnam, ridden by jockey Vishwanath, drawn 5, will carry 59 kilos. 3 Spearhead, is owned by Mr. and Mrs. Renzi Edwards. Chestnut gelding, 10-year-old bird in approved of Imposing, red, green, cross sashes and cap, is trained by SPA Raju and ridden by jockey Dinesh, drawn 2, carrying that weight of 58.5. 4 is Augustus, is ridden by N.S. Parmar, owned by Mr. Isra Dasanayaka Vashan of the Southern Star, trained by S.T. Lalit, drawn 1, will carry 54 kilos. And 5 Mr. Majestic is also the property of Mr. Isra Dasanayaka, Himmet of Thundering Bay, Oxford Blood, a white arm, band and cap. S.D. Lalit, Kishore Kadamna rides Mr. Majestic, drawn 4 with the weight of 53.5 kilos. That's the lineup for the run-up for the Sports Ministry Spring Trophy. As horses beginning to arrive at the starting gate, most of them have reached, and we got approximately 4 minutes left for the loading time. We welcome our viewers right across this island nation, witnessing this telecast live from the Royal Turf Club. That's Alcazaba for you, who ran second in the Kunigil Stud Million last week. Alcazaba. Atlantis, Spearhead, Augustus and Mr. Majestic are the other 4 runners who will face the starter other than Alcazaba, but it will make it 5 for the Sports Ministry Spring Trophy. There's a Class 1 handicap race to run a distance of 1400 meters. It stakes of rupees 5,85,000 to be given away, with 3 lakhs to the winner of the Sports Ministry Spring Trophy, also carry a trophy with them. The second place will carry 1,50,000. Third race will be 75,000. Fourth race 40,000, and fifth place will be 20,000. This is a race for horses rated 80 and above. Atlantis has moved in. That completes the line. All the 5 runners in the stalls. Arizona is on, off they go, and left standing in the gates is Mr. Majestic, and slowly away was Augustus as well. And as they settle down to race and going into the early leader, Spearhead, who gets a lovely jump to take over the running by about a length in front of Atlantis, has made rapid progress to be well up with the front runners. Alcazaba is settled back beautifully to run third at this stage. They have been followed by Augustus, and Mr. Majestic is running last. They're heading towards the 800-meter marker, back to the leader. Up there in front is Spearhead, the leader, now being joined on the outside by Atlantis. These 2 are fighting for the head as they approach the 600-meter marker. 2 behind comes the next is Alcazaba. Another 5 lengths behind is Augustus. Another 2.5 lengths behind is Mr. Majestic. They are heading towards the 400-meter mark, and they'll be shortly arriving into the home straight for the Sports Ministry Spring Trophy, as it is still Spearhead, Atlantis, Alcazaba. They are almost in that 3-way line as they wing round the corner and straight for the final run. And Alcazaba comes and grabs the lead. It is Alcazaba with the advancing stride. Is shot away. About 2.5 in front. The rider looking back to see any possible threat. Alcazaba has gone away from this field to win this Sports Ministry Trophy. Alcazaba wins this race from Spearhead, finishing on second. The white cap is Augustus, who finishes on third. Then we have Atlantis, followed by Mr. Majestic as they went past the finish line. So an absolute cracker of a race ridden by Alcazaba, who finished second behind Charlatan in his last starting in the Kunigil Stud Magic Million, and redeemed his superiority by that second in his last starting. Came and won in fine fashion on this Sports Ministry Spring Trophy by winning the third race, the Days Pitch event, the Sports Ministry Spring Trophy won by Alcazaba, but Spearhead could only finish on second, and Augustus came and finished on third, Atlantis fourth, and Mr. Majestic. That's the order of placings. And there you have it, Alcazaba for you, been making his way towards the grandstand. Alcazaba is ridden by jockey Irwan Singh and trained by SPA Raju. The Kunigal Stud Magic Million trainer SPA Raju. Well, we stand by for the TV replay of the running of the Sports Ministry Spring Trophy coming up for you on your screen. There you have it, the action replay with the runners being flagged off, and it was Augustus who was slowly away, and Mr. Majestic absolutely stood flat-footed for a brief while and came out of the stalls a little bit later. But it was Alcazaba, Spearhead, these two got the run and took out the running with Atlantis and close attendance as they head towards the back stretch, and the other two of Mr. Majestic and Augustus, who were trailing the field. They came to the final 400 meters. They were passing the bend and approaching the home straight for this Sports Ministry Spring Trophy. Spearhead now been passed on the outside by Alcazaba, Atlantis, then comes Augustus, and Mr. Majestic was completely out of it. But inside the final 200 meters, Alcazaba with Irwan Singh just gave a tap or so, literally guided him in front and went clear of this field as Alcazaba to register a fine win by winning the Sports Ministry Spring Trophy by a comfortable margin. And Spearhead could only finish on second, but the one which caught the eye was Augustus, who came in from almost to that last position to finish on, ending up third. Atlantis finished on fourth, and last of 5 runners was Mr. Majestic.
2 and 5.